common thing that I'm hearing is a lot of, I just don't have time. And a lot of the ladies in our community just really struggling with where to find time or make time in their day, which is obviously
totally
a challenge.
Totally. And I guess, and one of the biggest things that I feel, as a female entrepreneur who's got 14 million things on her to-do list, a business with 26 staff, another business starting, a foster child, a husband that I want to and I get to love well, 6 godchildren, 5 nieces and nephews that all expect you to, which is good, fly all around the country to see them, which is great. I've got plenty of things going on in my own life. That time, I think, is something that everyone struggles with. I don't think it can be an excuse. I think it's time to stop saying, I don't have the time, and start having a look. The biggest reason why we get that sentence is because the time isn't valued right.
So what does that actually mean, though, when you think the time isn't valued right?
If you don't know what your time, if you don't actually financially know what your time is worth, you're basically guaranteed to get stuck in a vortex of doing the stuff that you shouldn't be doing. So to figure out what your time is worth, I like to figure out what my goal is in the business, a goal in the next sort of 12 months, right? So it might be to hit 6 figures a year, or it might be to hit 7 figures a year, or whatever the business is, whatever you're aiming for the business to do, and divide that by the number of hours that you want to be working in the business. So maybe you're happy doing 25 hours a week in the business. Again, long term, we want to do a lot less than that, like I'm doing. But let's say 25 hours a week in the business, and wanting to earn $250,000 a year, like 20 grand a month. That works out to be, I believe, $178 an hour, if I'm doing my maths right. $178 an hour. So that financially needs to go into your head before you do any task. Because if you can pay someone else less, significant less than the $178 an hour to do that task, you've then freed up yourself to do tasks that are actually worth thousands of dollars an hour. So if I'm seeing something that I could outsource on Fiverr, or outsource on Freelancer, or outsource to a bookkeeper, no one should be doing anything to do with their numbers. No one should be in zero, unless you're a bookkeeper yourself. Even then, outsource it. You're not going to run a successful business by being a great bookkeeper. You're going to run a successful business by being a great founder. So that's what I started doing early on. And it's kind of like, if you want to build a business heading in that direction, you've got to start heading in that direction. The CEO of McDonald's isn't flipping burgers. There's nothing wrong with the people who are flipping burgers, but his high value tasks are worth probably $100,000 an hour, right? And for me in my office, what I did early on was I put a big sign on my wall, and I was like, I will only do what only I can do.
So powerful.
Totally. It just makes you look at everything differently. Can only I do this job? No. Could a university student do this at $22 an hour so I can go and do something, or $18 an hour I was paying so I can go and do something more high value? Like go and make some money and go and close. Like, do I respond to this email? Is that worth $178 an hour? Heck no. Like that mentality switches up everything. And then you realize how these founders running billion-dollar businesses, still human, still 24 hours a day, still 7 days a week, that is their superpower. And if we can get that early on, man, we're unstoppable.